It should come as no secret that cover 3 match has been my favorite coverage in Madden 25. Now, that's not to say that this defense is perfect or that it has no holes in it. In fact, today I'm going to show you guys some of the common ways that I often get beat when running this defense. I feel I owe it to you as somebody who talks about this defense in every other video, I would say, that I focus on coverage, and we can kind of work through some of the ways that I counteract those beaters. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let's go. So we're going to work through base cover 3 match here. I obviously run this out of the 1-4, and I do some custom setups that I use with pressures, but we're going to focus on the general rules for this particular defense here and where it can be susceptible. So I'm going to call this out of the cover 3 match in the 3-3 odd, just with a base 4-man rush. One of the big time strengths to this defense is that our hook curl defenders will handle the third receiver in the formation. If it's a formation like the one we're seeing right here with trips tight end, that means that we're numbering outside to inside, with Rome Odunze number 15 being the number 3 receiver in this offense. So with this, we know that our hook curl on the left is going to basically jump to his outside, and the hook curl to the right is going to jump to his inside. This makes this a great coverage when your opponent runs a flood, with the left hook curl being able to play match on this guy. As you see right there, we're able to take away that throw and make it tougher. But if they run a route combination where, say, for instance, the receiver crosses the field, this is actually a nice call as well, because the other hook curl will basically run with him. So if you watch on this snap, Urlacher will take him man-to-man across the field and then pass him off to the outside third, where we can kind of take away that throw. By the way, I think it's really cool that Byron Jones just got released in this game with a pink face, but neither here nor there. One of the weaknesses, however, to this defense is going to be the running back quick to the flat. Too many times in this defense, and I'm sure some of you that run this have experienced this, a simple table route with a tight end streak out of a trips tight end oftentimes leaves this running back wide open in the flat. And that was actually a pretty good reaction by the seam flat, but oftentimes you're looking at 7 to 10 yards on this, and it's really, really tough to deal with, especially if they're running like a corner route or something to that effect as well. You see right here how he backs up even further, and this allows us to throw the check down. So this high-low read in the flat between the tight end and the running back that so many players spam, this is basically what's found on the 2 receiver side of the level sail concept. Level sail, for those that aren't really familiar with it, looks basically like this. You've all seen this route combination, but this spam to the running back in the flat is really, really obnoxious, and they can pick up 7 to 10 yards. The downside is that if you were to change this defense to a hard flat style defense to counteract the running back in the flat, now all of a sudden we no longer have matching principles, which means that that corner route that we guarded in that first rep is now going to end up being essentially wide open unless you have a KO ability, in which we did there. So we got a good reaction, but not everybody has that, which makes this a lot tougher. So one of the things that I often do when I play match coverage and I'm dealing with a running back that's killing me into the flat is I actually utilize a old friend that we've talked about year after year, which is the bluff blitz trick. A lot of players don't know this, but if you bluff blitz a defensive pass rusher on the side of a running back, he actually will play man-to-man on the running back. So when I do this with Singletary, it says 3 receiver hook. That's really not the case. What he actually does is he mans up the running back if the running back runs a route. And if the running back stays in the block, then he actually just drops over the middle into that role. So this allows me to stay in match coverage, user whoever I want. And if my opponent wants to run that little combo, Singletary is going to actually jump that in the flat. You see that that is a much tighter throw for a gain of 1 at most. Obviously, if I have a knockout, if I have a lurk artist, which I don't at the moment on this player, that could be a pick 6 going the other way, or a knockout that will just be an incomplete pass, move on to the next down. This is a much better way to play the running back beating you out of the backfield, because you don't have to lose your matching rules. Another area of the game where this is especially useful is going to be when my opponent is in a spread set where they have 2 receivers to both sides of the field, but the running back is on one side of the field or the other. A lot of times when I'm playing this cover 3 style defense, I want to be able to play on a hook defender. So for instance, let's say that I'm running a defense where I basically have the responsibility of this guy. Well, a lot of players don't realize this, but we end up being in these situations responsible for the running back out to the flat. This is the hook curl's responsibility because, again, the hook curls relate to the third receiver in the formation. When it's a trips formation, they're relating to a wide receiver. When it's this formation, the third receiver is actually the running back if you were to number outside to inside from the right. You notice that Odunze is number 1, Olsen is number 2, and the running back is the third option on that side. So if that running back flares into the flat, this ends up being a problem for a lot of players because that hook has to take him, and then sometimes you can get up over the top in the seam to that slot streak. And that's why a lot of people shy away from the cover 3 defense to begin with. So this puts me in a position where if I'm using this guy, I want to guard that player that's in the seam. A lot of times you're playing out of a too high defense where it looks something like this. And if that running back goes to the flat, he's mine, but I want to be able to handle the running back so I can help in the seam in this hook roll. So I can go ahead and bluff blitz Singletary on this, and he'll take the running back out of the backfield, which allows me to then cheat into the seam and give help to my teammate. And you see right there that this ends up being a much better option for our defense. So this bluff blitz trick is really, really good when you can take a defensive lineman and just basically bluff him on the running back side. It means now if you're in that hook roll that would normally have to take that player, you can kind of freelance and guard wherever you want. Now, this is especially useful when you're talking about a loop blitz meta, as you might imagine, because what I can do in this is send pressure, set up a cover 3 match like so. But let's say, for instance, I'm worried about that running back. Well, I could just bluff blitz Khalil Mack so I can hang out in this seam. And if they send him out on the route, lo and behold, I got a 3-man pressure. Pretty easy stuff, right? So this is kind of how I fuse together my coverage with a blitz setup, which leads me into my next point. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and also check out gridirongameplans.gg. If this video is something you really enjoy, you are sure to love my website, as I opened it in 2020 to focus on the competitive meta, which is what pro players are doing and how to counter it. In our vault, you'll get weekly updated content fixated on the metas and how to counter them. You also get all offensive and defensive game plans at no additional charge, members only Discord access, and access to lab sessions within our Discord every single Wednesday night for just $9.95 a month. Make sure you guys go check it out. Best deal in the tip space. Got over 180 vault tips on Madden, over 180 vault tips on college football, countless game plans, so many hours in our lab sessions. Far and away the best place to get better at the game, so go check it out. So this is how I neutralize the running back when he's giving me problems, but there are also some pretty good beaters for cover 3 match. And I'm going to share with you one that I really hope to not see very often moving forward, but the fact of the matter is I'm putting it on YouTube, so I probably will. But this cover 3 match beater that I'm about to show you involves, simply put, just putting a smokescreen or a drag on the outside receiver and having a slot receiver streak. So what I'm going to do here in this example is I'm going to put a streak to Hester and a smokescreen to B. And for whatever reason, when you guys run cover 3 match, you will see that the outside corner is going to jump down and then jump back super late. This gives me the ability to throw this over the top as an up and outside freeform, and we're out for a touchdown. The same exact thing will happen if you were to go ahead and put a drag to the outside receiver. So all you really need to do here is basically run a concept where you have an outside drag and the next receiver in runs a streak. You'll get this kind of swap off. Unless there's a bump, you're in a lot of trouble, okay? Right there, fortunately for us, there was a little bit of a bump on that receiver, but that is not always going to be the case. You will see this little swap off, and a lot of times this is the touchdown. So again, right back, the next play, we were able to throw it. So when somebody is spamming this type of busting coverage concept on me, I actually change my outside corner from a 3rd to a 4th. And what that will do is that will make it so they don't flip-flop with that player. So when they run a drag, you'll actually see right here that he's going to just drop back and stay on top of that route, and they'll let that guy go underneath. Now, he wouldn't be matching that typically either way, so that would be the way that you would expect that to play. Again, with this particular concept, when you run a drag, you realize it's just too late that he doesn't need to match it, and then it's the same coverage anyways. So we're basically just saying, hey, play the outside quarter here where you just immediately are dropping back if your guy goes underneath. So you end up seeing it's the same exact coverage, just played much better when your opponent runs this concept. Now, be careful with this adjustment, because if your opponent does call a trips formation, this activates matching rules that are associated with cover 4 against trips, and you're actually going to see the exact same bug occur. Now, the good news with that is that hopefully with this, you don't get that seam losing his guy, and he'll stay with him. But be careful if you're expecting that guy to drop back when you've got a trips look and they're doing this to you. You'll be shocked to notice that the guy stays in man-to-man. That is a cover 4 palms rule that's being played, and we're kind of changing the defense into part cover 3 match, part cover 4 palms, and that's a different topic for a different day. But again, at least you don't get this double, you know, swap off, flip flop, whatever you want to call it on this. It still looks okay where you've got the seam flat and then safety help in the middle of the field. So if they want to lob it, so be it. But at least in this case, you don't get the switch and then the, oh, I don't want to do that, switch back, where it's just wide open for an easy lob touchdown. So the outside quarter is a great adjustment when your opponents are doing drags or smokes with slot streaks. And then the bluff blitz is a great way to handle the running back check down out of the backfield. Then from there, you guys are in a real good position to dominate in this coverage, so long as you understand the rest of the rules for cover 3 match. Now, I have done free content here on the channel before, so if you guys want to go back and sift through other videos, you're sure to learn some things about all types of match coverage: quarters, palms, cover 6, cover 9, cover 3 match. But if you guys want it all in digestible, easy to learn, and organized format, go check out the website. I've got it in our match game plan. I've got it in our vault updates. It's a consistent coverage that I talk about all the time on the website, focused on beating bunch and trips tight end and all these other formations that we face, including bunch strong as well, and also that doubles off close meta, or the normals Y off flex, or any of those crazy auto motion offenses you face in the Philadelphia, the run and gun, the San Francisco playbooks as well. If this all sounds like a different language to you, definitely go check out the website. Otherwise, make sure you guys are subscribed here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.